Well, the microphone's on, so I guess it's time to start talking. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. It is Three Guys Before the Game, episode number 674. It's kind of a double-topic show, crossover season, right?
Yes.
We've got Mountaineer football, West Virginia, final. Can you believe this? Final road game of the regular season coming up. We'll preview the Mountaineers' date with the Sun Devils of Arizona State coming up. Also, basketball, Backyard Brawl, West Virginia. Thanks for having us.
All lined up.
Said, come here, take another one. May I have another? May I have another? May I have another?
It was so dominating of a performance, I thought maybe you would open the show instead of our regular music with Sweet Caroline playing.
Athletic director hit that button, didn't he? He went Pentagon phone on that thing late. Talk about that. Talk about that. One guy thought it was a little bit too early. Three Guys Before the Game. Brought to us by GoMart. Get yourself a GoMart rewards card. Go to GoMart.com for the details. Just download it on the App Store. Plus, they're doing all this stuff now. The holidays, Marty's Spin. You go in there, hit the code, you spin, you win all kinds of stuff. We'll talk about that. Three Guys brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Award-winning, 40 years in the business. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. Great opportunity right now as the seasons transition into post-boat season, but you can get great deals now. Three Guys brought to us by Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's Biscuit. By Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law, they won't take no for an answer, simply won't. And by Connolly CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. All right, so here we go. It's Brad and myself. The other guy, don't know where he is, not sure. I don't know. We're thinking sometime next week if we don't see him, going to do a silver alert. I'm going to put out a silver alert on him, see if we can find the dog.
He'll reappear.
You think he'll come on?
Like sometimes that happens with dogs.
Excuse me?
Well, they wander off, but then pretty smart, and they eventually find their way back home. Takes a while sometimes, but they eventually work their way back home. I think that's what's happening with Kercheval.
He's
out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
At some point, he'll find his way and wander back in onto the set.
Two things on Kercheval. I talked to him yesterday.
Spoke to him?
Spoke to him. Didn't see him, so I don't know, being held hostage, whatever the thing is. But we're going to record Sunday, right? Sunday morning,
yeah.
He's going to join us.
Is he showing back up for that?
But not physically. He'll be here. Via the old computer system because he's busy.
Okay.
He'll be at the Arizona State game. Like
we'll take him however we can get him.
So for those of you that are going to the Arizona State game, if you see Hoppy, get your picture made with him because he'll be at the Arizona State game. All right. So we're going to do football here first as West Virginia gets ready to take on the Sun Devils of Arizona State. Super interesting matchup for a bunch of different reasons. Obviously, West Virginia's playing its best football of the season so far, and you got that on your side. But you've got to make the long trip out there, and Arizona State has had extra time off. They have not played since 2 weeks ago now, so it'll be 14 days for games between them. Their quarterback, the regular, Sam Leavitt, as you probably know, out for the season. However, his replacement, Jeff Sims, goes out there in his first start after the Leavitt injury, and all of a sudden looks like a Heisman Trophy winner, right? Runs for 250, throws for 170, runs for 2 TDs, throws for another. And so you've got an entirely different set of circumstances that you've got to deal with if you're West Virginia's defense in Sims. How much, if anything, do they change with an extra week to get ready for West Virginia? Conversely, let's face it, even though the Mountaineers have won 2 straight games, they're banged up, right? I mean, not that guys aren't going to play, but they got guys that, as my guy Dwight Wallace always says, he may have run 4.4 in August, but now that's like a 4.6. You just get banged, you get slower. So West Virginia is going to go out there, and you just don't know. So You take your shot, you take your swing. 11 a.m. start time there, 1 o'clock here. Interesting game.
Well, I think you said it right. West Virginia playing its best ball right now. You've stabilized that quarterback position, which has been massive. Those offensive linemen continue to improve and get better. And I'm interested to watch how they now perform against what's a very talented Arizona State team, albeit, like you said, banged up. No Levitt is a major factor. And you're right, Jeff Sims has played a lot of college football. We'll talk about him, the backup quarterback, because I think there's some things that you can maybe hang your hat on there if you're West Virginia defensively against Sims. I'll get into that a little bit more.
That's your first hint?
We'll get into it.
You hinted something there. You got something?
We'll talk about it. I also think that it's I don't need to think. It's a massive benefit for West Virginia. Jordan Tyson listed as out last night.
He's out
on that injury report. That's the talented receiver for Arizona State that's one of the best football players in the country, not just receivers, as Rich said earlier this week. So that helps. Again, this is a talented roster, went to the playoffs last year in Arizona State, but that's two significant injuries for them. Maybe counters a little bit what West Virginia's been dealing with injury-wise.
Mm-hmm. The reality of it is, right, he's Dillingham, their head coach, who I don't know anything about him other than everything I've ever seen, hear him talk just from afar, like incredibly impressive, right? Incredibly smart, love the energy. He really gets it. And he's just farther along in his program build than West Virginia, right? His first year, it was a struggle. Boom, boom. They get better real quick. So West Virginia is still in the infancy of building that roster up. And I talked to Rich this week, and I said, like, do you look at him and say, like, we can get there based on how other teams in this league have done it, right? For example, Houston, from where they were a year ago to where they are this year. Arizona State, where they were their first year. So, yeah, you can.
I give him a lot of credit, Dillingham. He inherited a dumpster fire. I mean, Herm Edwards, I don't know what those guys were doing out there for a couple of years. There was utter chaos inside that thing.
Remember when they gave
the COVID thing?
Well, no, you remember what they were doing? They were going to run a professional football program.
By God,
remember when they hired them? They have a general manager. They were going to run a pro football team.
Ran that thing right on the ground.
They were going to show everybody in the college ranks how this thing works.
So Dillingham's turned around, graduate of that program, so it means a lot to him. They've turned it quickly. It's amazing, though, that program, that is one that you look at from the outside and say, man, how are you not better more consistently? Talent in the area, great location, weather's tremendous. Maybe they've got their guy in Dillingham now that can sustain some of that success, but that's just a campus and a school that you would think would be consistently right there.
It's a great point. I was literally thinking about that this morning because just like, let's just say in the totality of football, like Arizona State, and you can go all the way back, like Frank Kush, right?
I thought you were going to give us a Frank Kush.
Okay, I go all the way back to Frank Kush, where they've blipped, right? Mm-hmm. They've done some of this, but they've never had long-term sustained success. And I wonder, and I'll ask people when I get there this weekend, is it because it's a professional market? Is it because it's a pro market, and you just again suffer from the things that pro market teams like Houston and a lot of teams, like, you just get more distracted followers and you do not have that fanaticism that makes a difference, right?
Yeah, it might be. It might be, but some of those came along kind of late, though, right? It's like not like Diamondbacks weren't one of the original teams.
I know.
Arizona Cardinal football team hasn't always been in Arizona. Now they've got everything. I mean, they got all of it. I know, and that might be the answer. But man, that's a beautiful area with a great campus with players. Stop. Should be full stop right there. That should be enough to be able to sustain success. They haven't been able to.
This staff and this coach, if he stays, he's got no reason to leave, right? He's a grad. He could probably stay and be happy as long as they give him what he needs. That's what it's going to come down to. Mm-hmm. They could go.
They could.
They could become an upper tier program in this league year in and year out. All right, we'll get into it. Three Guys Before the Game is brought to us by Comax Business Systems. We'll talk about the Mountaineer basketball team in a moment, but you know how what really fueled them in that game? Water. They had a lot of water, right? They were drinking a lot of water. If you're a business owner or you have a workplace situation where a water machine would help you instead of lugging and dragging plastic big old bottles up into your break room or whatever, the folks at Comax Business Systems got that I-12 water machine. Hot water, cold water, it's perfect. You set it up, new technology, ice as well. Take a look, comaxwv.com. That's WV.com. And as I was saying earlier on when we were just coming on here, Three Guys brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. You might think, because we saw some snow flurries earlier this week, that it's all over. It ain't over. It's not over. It's only starting. You know what's starting? Post-boat season. If you need service on your craft, or if you want to go in there and say, like, well, end of the year model there, I think we might be able to negotiate a little bit of a special price on that, be like a perfect time. They've been in business for 40 years. They've stood the test of time. Anything you need from a boating perspective, visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. That's LouWendellMarineSales.com.
Because there'll be time to put them back in the water here in just a couple weeks.
It won't be long.
Get prepared.
I mean,
we're almost to the shortest day of the year. We're almost going the other way.
21st of December. So basically, we're 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
That's not bad. If we can just hang on for 5 weeks and deal with it getting pitch black at 1:30 in the afternoon, right, as long as we can do that, then we're fine. From 22nd of December, we start counting back up. Let's face it, basketball season's just starting, right? The nice thing about it is, you know and I know, that's going, right, we started in some nice weather, then it gets cold, and then by the time March comes in there, we're going to have a late home game in basketball in early March. It's going to be sunny. You're not even going to have to bring a jacket in to the Hope Coliseum. It's going to be nice. We're going to transition. We're going to get through this together.
Well, speaking of weather, it was beautiful for the Colorado game last weekend. Stole one there.
Gorgeous.
In November.
Gorgeous. I haven't even looked ahead. The Farmer's Almanac probably has that Texas Tech weather ready by now, doesn't it?
Yeah, that Farmer's Almanac going out of business, though, right?
Heard
Isn't this
that.
the final year?
Yeah, it's been a hell of a run, like 400 years.
It's shutting her down after multiple hundreds of years. I don't know how we're going to know what the hell's coming weather-wise now, though. How do you know?
I mean,
everybody always gives you know, the Farmer's Almanac says. No more of that.
Nah, it was a good run.
End of an era.
Yeah, it was a good run. Hey, what do you say we break down the numbers? Let's do this thing.
So I checked the numbers. We'll just go right to the numbers. Here comes the heater. Let's jump into the analytics portion.
What does the computer say about West Virginia and Arizona State? Time now for Spreads on Stats. It is brought to us by just our friends at Conley CPA Group. They do provide value beyond numbers, a complete service public accounting and consultation firm serving clients throughout West Virginia, surrounding states. Celebrating right now year 40, like Lou Wendell. They're both in 40 years of business. It's hard to do. You can outsource your accounting. Like, you don't want to deal with that in your workplace. You can just say, hey, Conley CPA, can you do our accounting? You can outsource your accounting. Actually, you can even outsource your CFO services. They'll do that as well. But they are business consultants, and they will walk with you step for step as to the best decisions that you can make for your business so that you only pay your share and not more than you need. Be smart. Be Conley CPA Group.
We're starting with football. So I've got a lot of basketball numbers. There's a lot of good numbers.
Yeah, I was up in Wheeling this week for Salvation Army kettlebell kickoff, and David Flatley, who runs the thing there, he introduced me to this young guy, and he said he's a CPA. I said,
did you just apologize?
No, I don't even know if he listened, but I said, you get nervous around April 15th? He goes, yeah. Proves my point.
David Flatley runs the Salvation Army thing too. Is there anything he doesn't do?
He's the marketing guy there at the health plan.
Yeah,
but he helps.
Okay, I was gonna say
he helps
does
with
everything.
Salvation. Yeah, he does everything.
Yeah.
Hockey announcer. He used to be with the Nailers. Does everything. Yeah, good to see him.
Helps run the MEC tournament. Does the announcer there?
He's the best. Yeah. He's the best. All right, so give me this. You're laying low on a number. You think there's a way to get to Sims?
Well, let's start with Sims just to give you an overview and some numbers just to pay attention to as you're watching or listening to the game. You said it earlier, veteran dude. He's in his 6th year of college football.
Matriculated at Georgia Tech with the Ramblin' Wreck.
He's been in a lot of places. Was it Nebraska?
Nebraska
for a time as well.
Yeah.
He's closing in on 1,000 dropbacks in his career. 777 pass attempts, nearly 1,000 dropbacks there. But here's some things to watch. He has the second lowest yards per attempt average of any quarterback in the Big 12 with at least 70 pass attempts. So it's something to watch defensively. He's been a very effective runner. Throwing it, there hasn't been much downfield with him yet. Just 4.9, very low yards per attempt. So keep an eye on those. He does just have one big-time throw in those 73 pass attempts, which makes sense given that yards per attempt. If you're not throwing the ball down the field very often, you're not going to have a lot of BTTs, big-time throw there. Tony abbreviated that for you. 2 turnover-worthy plays in those 73 pass attempts over the 4 games that he's played. To give you some comparison with just the one big-time throw, Sam Levitt had 18 big-time throws in just 7 games, more of a big play type of quarterback. So they're trying to manage Sims a little bit more than they are turning him loose offensively. Again, I like that just on the surface for West Virginia's defense. In his career, through all those different stops, Sims, 25 big-time throws, 46 turnover-worthy plays. Almost 2-to-1 the wrong way.
What is it?
25 big-time throws, 46 turnover-worthy plays.
And
so
what
he's
span of
been
time?
turnover pro his whole career.
So he'll give it to you.
He is turnover prone. I'll keep going. For his career, he'll rush it. Carried it, I believe, 30 times in their last game.
29.
Yeah. 15 rushing touchdowns in 6 seasons. However, 30 fumbles in that time.
Run that thing in.
15 rushing touchdowns, 30 fumbles. He has a 2-to-1 fumble to rushing touchdown ratio.
That's probably not good.
That's not where you want to be. So again, potential pick, potential fumbles. West Virginia's defense has been good. When we have seen these underlying numbers for guys, this has turned out to be turnover-worthy type of games for West Virginia. If that continues, you feel pretty good about the Mountaineers' chances to steal one out in the desert. Last game, we mentioned those 29-30 carries, 223 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, was very good. Did have 2 fumbles in that game against Iowa State. Had a long run of 88, part of what added that total. He took off and big played you, which I'll get to right now because that leads to one of the keys for this game. And it's going to be watching Sims. Given the fact they let him carry the ball that many times, that tells you where they are offensively. They're going to ride him as long as they can there. Can you force the ball out of his hands a couple times? That's going to be one of the keys. Limit the Arizona State rushing attack. Sun Devil rushing offense is 18th nationally in EPA per rush. So they've been very good in that expected points added per rush. But they're getting a West Virginia defense that is 26th nationally in that category. This West Virginia defense now starting to pile some pretty impressive numbers here in the back half of this season. Watch out for big plays. I just mentioned the Sims 88-yard run. Arizona State, 87th percentile in rush explosive percentage. So if you'll remember just last week, this was one of the keys against Colorado. Colorado was even better than that in rush explosive percentage, and West Virginia held them to 0 explosive rush plays. Can you stack another really good rushing defense performance on top of what you did last week?
Very interesting numbers.
Watch the early downs. West Virginia has been very good on first and second down, 41st in EPA on early downs. If that holds, you've got it. That forces an Arizona State team that wants to run it into some third and longs. Now you have a chance to get after Sims. Here comes the potential turnover-worthy plays in those situations. Arizona State just 106th nationally out of, 134 teams this year. Yeah. So 106 out of 134 when it comes to average yards to go per third down, 7.5. So if you can limit the Sun Devils early, make Sims have to throw it on third down, minus Jordan Tyson at receiver, again, you like the scenario in that situation.
Those are all good numbers. You did, as they say, you did good there.
I like that matchup. I mean, that's, again, you never know if those numbers are going to hold, but we're deep into the season now. Some of this stuff is what it is. Arizona State's a little tough to read because they're missing some parts. No Levitt, no Tyson. That changes what they look like, but I think you know what they want to do with Sims. So limiting that running attack, stopping them on first and second down goes a long way to getting a win.
So it would seem as though if you're the staff at Arizona State, and you've got Sims coming off this massive running performance, okay, let's do that again, right? And so let's not put the ball in harm's way if they also, and they see the same numbers, if they know he could be turnover prone when he puts the ball into the air, why do we do anything else except pound it against West Virginia, make the game shorter, pound it, run the football. That's what you would think that they're going to do.
No question, because then you turn around on the other side, and if you're them, you're looking at West Virginia's offense that has struggled to find some consistency, albeit better late in these last two games. But you would say, okay, go ahead, offense. You go try and beat us. We're going to play some defense, which leads me to key number 2, and we'll leave it here. I think the run game's just massive in this game. One was, we just said, limit Arizona State. But on the West Virginia side, that continues to be the primary key with Rich Rodriguez. Run it, then you can throw it. Arizona State's defense, 110th nationally EPA per rush. So you should be able to have some success against them. 94th nationally in opponent success rate on the ground. Indicates that you may be able to run it on them. If that offensive line has another good game, if it can stack a third good game, maybe you can run it here a little bit. It's important for this offense to run. As we've said, that opens up everything else. But it also may have a little extra importance against the Sun Devils. They come into this game, their defense does 34th nationally in EPA per pass. So they've been a very good pass defense, but teams have been able to run. So I won't go any deeper than that. Just have the ability to run it on them, limit Arizona State's run, and you might be right in this game for a chance to walk out of there with a win.
Perhaps a few more design runs for the quarterback. Rich has been kind of careful in not running Scotty Fox as much as he normally would run a quarterback because of the lack of depth. But now you do at least have Khalil Wilkins back. You have Max Brown back. At least you got a couple guys now that if you let Fox go a little bit, if it's there, maybe he runs it a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
and you're getting late in the season, right, too? So that adds to that as well. Let me give you one other number to watch when West Virginia's on defense, if we can get the Sun Devils into that 3rd and long. Leavitt, when he played, was under pressure on 30% of his dropbacks. That was the 5th most in the Big 12. Sims has a completion percentage of just 38% when under pressure. So again, that all links together. Slow the run, especially early, force them into obvious passing downs, then crank it up as we saw West Virginia do each of the last 2 weeks in particular. That's always a key to this West Virginia defense. When they're getting home to the quarterback and delivering some hits, it has turned out well for them. Pitt, Houston, Colorado, right? In the wins, you've gotten after the quarterback. This offensive line looks like it may allow some pressure, and Sims certainly struggles when you get to him.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Let's face it, folks. You're down to your last 2 games of the regular season. And if you're Zach Alley, right, you're going to push all your chips just like
you go.
Here you go, man. I'm pushing everything in. Let's go. Let's get after it. Let's cause havoc. Let's cause chaos. You got nothing to lose. Jamori Robinson, you're down to 2 games, right? You've blipped just a teeny little bit this season. You've shown a couple of things. Let's go.
Pin your ears back and go, man.
Let's go.
Nothing to wait on now. So go take your chance. You're going against a team that's a preseason favorite in this league. You're on the road against them. They're off the bye week, as you mentioned. Playing with house money here a little bit. Go after. Go get them.
Yeah. That weather is going to be a little bit unusual there. We're talking about potentially some rain, a system coming through there. I'm all for it. I mean, I think like a downpour would be like perfect. Anything that would make them seem out of their norm. Be good.
Ball gets a little slippery there. Maybe
it does. That's fine.
That's get a little slippery for them. I'm saying.
Yeah. It's a whole new there. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
So watch the run game. Watch early downs.
3 guys before the game brought to us by Jan Dill's attorneys at law. They simply, like Brad, they won't take no for an answer. They do it all: personal injury, whatever you may have. But their specialization areas are Social Security claims and military benefits. If you or someone that you know needs help in those worlds, which can be very, very difficult to navigate because there's a lot of bureaucracy that goes in with filing those claims, contact them first and let them walk you through the process. We mentioned that stat. We do a lot of stats here, right? Spreads on stats. We mentioned that stat. 88% of initial Social Security claims are denied when you go out there and do it, but that's why you need someone that does it every single day. So in any of our 50 states, Jan Dill's attorneys at law, they are there. They've got clients throughout, based here in West Virginia, but serving people across the country. Social Security claims, military benefits, and personal injury as well. If you need help, Jan Dill's attorneys at law, doesn't cost you a single penny unless they get a settlement for you. Do I have to do spreads on stats music again when we transition into basketball?
No, we're just going to kind of continue it.
All right. Last night, and it's super early here. We had to record early because I gotta go catch an airplane. Last night outside the Hope Coliseum, final numbers: home team 71, visitors 49 in the 192nd Backyard Brawl.
49. Just held a Division I team to 49 points in a rivalry game. Hello.
Yeah.
Below 50.
Yeah. So West Virginia's 4-0, and now I think what I was kind of thinking all along is this. We talked about Ross Hodges' defense, and that is his absolute foundation. That's the first thing he puts down when he plays ball, right? Did it from his junior college days and did it at North Texas. Before that, Arkansas State when he was with Grant McCaslin, and then they came to North Texas and they did the same thing, and it's going to be defense, right? And so the first 3 games they defended, but you just kind of go, well, they're defending, but those teams are teams that they're supposed to beat. Last night, the history of it is this. Think about this. That's the first time Ross Hodge has coached a Power 4 team against another Power 4 team.
Right.
He's coached Power 4 teams before, but not with a Power 4 roster. And last night was the beginning of what you're going to see defensively. Not that they're going to hold teams to 49 points every night, but you can see that is the first thing that they do. And guess what? It causes problems. And it causes problems because the majority of teams don't guard. And so when you have an outlier of a team that guards, i.e. Houston or some of the elite teams in the country, it's a world of difference for an offense where they're going like, wait a second, what exactly is this? We don't get this in practice. This is not how it feels. It just takes you out of your game.
It makes you uncomfortable for a long stretch of the whole game. Yeah. You're uncomfortable.
How many times did the shot clock go into single digits last night? And at that point, Pitt, you could tell, still had no concept of where that shot was coming from. So that was the first time that I think everyone saw what this defense will look like going forward. That's one thing. Also, the other thing is, I think that for the first time, folks that were there, great crowd, obviously, and those that were watching, they saw Ross Hodge like in action. And by that, I mean like he is wired in. Mm-hmm. He is playing the possessions, possession by possession. He is animated. He is down. A couple times looked back over his shoulder, people behind the Mountaineer bencher. He encouraged them, let's go. Let's make this thing special. So, like, he's in. He's totally in. And so I think last night was the first time people truly saw what Hodge's basketball program will look like while he's here.
Agree. And I also, to add to that, I thought it came together nicely, didn't it? You ramped up and you had that group that, listen, you weren't exactly sure how West Virginia's players were going to respond in that environment. They hadn't been through that either. They looked like a veteran team that had been playing in that environment for 4 years, and that's led by your point guard, Jasper Floyd, about as cool as they come. We'll get into him specifically. But I thought that all came together. You said that right about the defense. It was really good. And it's not just the physical abilities that those players bring on defense, and it's not just about the mental toughness it takes to guard like that for an entire game, but it takes your soul from the other team. And it does that doubly, and this is what we thought going into this game. It does that doubly to a team that doesn't want to play that way with you. For a team that wants to go or gets antsy or gets impatient, you got big problems against West Virginia, especially when the Mountaineers get the lead. And that's going to be something we'll watch all year. If this team has the lead going into the final 10 minutes in particular, man, they make it tough. Because they just slow that thing down and milk you per possession, and you start to get doubly amped up. One, you're uncomfortable, and two, you see the clock ticking down, and you know you've got to get shots, and it is sometimes hard to get shots. I thought West Virginia's defense, the help side of the West Virginia defense was tremendous. On ball, very good. They were pinching that lane. They were covering perimeter shooters. Pitt late, we'll go back and watch it when I watch it a second time. The number of bad or hurried shots that Panther offense took in the final 6 minutes of the game, it was almost every one of them. They got frustrated. Then that spilled over into their behavior. 2 technicals. Jeff Capel got another one. They just came totally undone, and a lot of that was because of playing West Virginia and getting frustrated over a full 40 minutes.
It's not entirely dissimilar to what Rich Rodriguez's plan is when he plays games, right? In the sense that once he has a lead, now he's going to choke you out. Now, we really haven't seen that here yet with Rich. Did it a little bit against Houston, but once he gets a lead, and those stats show that, like, he can make a game go miserably long for the opposing team. He pounds them at the end. Very similar to this, as you said. Once West Virginia gets 3-4 possession lead, they make the other team really pay. What happens, as you say, they get antsy. They want that ball back, slip through a crack. All of a sudden, you get an easy basket on a cut, boom, and now the thing's even grown out even bigger. So that's his plan. So that's exactly how he wants to play that out. And to your point, we really had no idea how West Virginia's players would respond to the building being full for the first time. Did they play out of character? Did they try too hard? Did they try too much? I thought it was also important that they got off to a quick, good start, and then Pitt scores, and they go up, right? They take their biggest lead. Was it 7? Pitt's biggest lead was 7. 8:01 to go.
Yeah,
it was 21-14 Pitt, and then West Virginia turned it again, and the entire game went around. So many different guys that you have to praise, and one of those guys is Harlan Obioha. Again, wonderful story. Lost a tremendous amount of weight since coming here. Footwork like Fred Astaire. Footwork like Fred Astaire. Look it up.
Big guy can move.
Yeah, look it up. But, I mean, his footwork is really good. He goes 8 of 9 from the field, 3 of 4 at the line, a half a dozen rebounds, and a couple of assists. And the crazy number, and Ross pointed this out postgame, the big boy went 31 minutes. His career average is about 23 minutes. Why? Because he's been so big that he can't play for these long, long periods of time. He went 31 minutes. He's 270 pounds. And so Jason, the strength coach, Coach Martinez did a fantastic job with not only dropping the weight, but cardiovascular-wise, he's ready to go.
Well, and yes, he did. And credit Harlan. That takes an incredible – anybody who's tried to drop a few pounds, that's an incredible amount of discipline that it took for him to get himself in shape and then play like he has. He has been outstanding, as you said. That's not just been a guy – if you've got a 7-footer that contributes to you, you're thrilled. This is a guy that's dominating, Tony, and I thought his performance was especially noteworthy from this standpoint. He's been really good through 3 games. West Virginia's dominated inside, dominated the paint. To be expected. Nobody had anybody physically that could match Harlan. Last night was the first time. They tried to roll Pitt, did a couple different near 7-footers in against him. So you thought, okay, what's Pitt going to do here? They have the size and athleticism to match West Virginia inside, and they just simply did not. Harlan dominated them. And listen to these season stats now for him. I know it's early. It's only 4 games. My man's 16 of 20 from the field. He's shooting 80% from the field right now. And you mentioned it last night, 8 of 9. So that wasn't just in the first 3 games. He is top 13% nationally of all players that are rated, which is 2,360-some players. He is top 13% in offensive rating. That's not what you thought you were getting with Harlan when you signed him. That's an anchor in the middle of that defense. That's a guy that can help you rebound. That's a guy that can get you a couple buckets. Guys, 13th, top 13% nationally. How about this? People were worried about the rebounding early, and we said, just hold on here. This team's going to be all right on the glass. First game was an aberration. Harlan has now moved in to the top 11% in defensive rebounding rate for an individual player. Top 11%. They were dominant on the glass last night. I'll get to that in the numbers here in just a second. So, yeah, Harlan's one of the guys you have to call out, no question.
Handling the ball. 6 turnovers in a rivalry game. 6 turnovers, that's a fantastic number. You know, the other thing I like about this team, and I mentioned this last night, number one, the full roster still hasn't played a game yet. We're getting, like, really close. I mean, it's very conceivable, but by the time a week from now happens and West Virginia's in South Carolina, that you could very well have the full roster for the first time. That's going to be really intriguing. You've got Chance Moore, who will be eligible to play against Clemson. And then you've got Jackson Fields, the Troy transfer, who is like really super close coming back from a wrist injury. Like, think about what that does. Now, size-wise, those are two bigs. Fields will come in. He can back up Obioha. And Moore is going to be the large, strong wing that they don't have right now that can absolutely be a great rebounder. And when watching in practice, he's a big that can put the ball on the floor from the wing. And when he goes to the basket, I'm going to the basket, I'm coming. And a totally different type of player than West Virginia currently has right now.
He'll go right straight at the rack on you, but can also hit threes if you leave him open. I am excited to watch what his ability to drive the ball does to the perimeter shooting. I think when he plays in conjunction with Trey, it's going to open up some better open looks for Trayson, as somebody has to decide. You're going to try and stay one-on-one with Moore as he's trying to put you inside the rim with the ball, or are you going to drop off? Opens up some potential wing shooters for some guys. And Jackson just adds another big body, and that's where that roster starts to round itself out now, because now you can go to Jackson, Fields, and DJ Thomas when you need to sub on that front line. And you talk about a guy, let's talk about some other individual performances. You talk about a guy in his first year of college basketball, in his first rivalry game, that's DJ Thomas. And he came out early in that game and I thought did two things that really changed the face of that game. One, hit those couple threes early, which he's shown he's a capable shooter. That's not why he's on this roster, but he's a good shooter and has made himself even better in the short amount of time he's been here. That was really the scoring that kept you connected to Pitt. If that gets to double figures early, you're going, uh-oh, what's happening? And DJ was the one guy that was making shots early that kept you within striking distance. And then two, just physically, he went to a different level last night than he had the first three games. He just said, all right, that's what it's going to be. We're going to bang in here and I've got to go up and get rebounds against grown men. Fine, I got you. Come on. So now if you start to bring him in as a secondary big with Jackson Fields, that really fortifies that front line for West Virginia.
We often say, no, we don't. I do. I often say, if you're going to be good in college sports, guess what? You're good right off the bat. DJ Thomas, good right off the bat for the reasons that you just said. He had no trepidation whatsoever in his body language or in his play. He played like a big man that had been in doing this in a long time. And he's just a baby, right? He's the guy that was 6'7" in high school and now has grown to 6'9". If you take a look at him, you can see that he's going to have this, like, what's he look like a year from now? Just a very big, strong guy. And mentally, Ross has said, has an unbelievable understanding of the game, wants to be coached. And so that is a huge pickup right there. You know, like normally freshmen, they're going to get limited minutes. They look a little bit uncomfortable out there. Both Thomas and Amir Jenkins, like 0 on the fear scale, right? Just stick your face
right in the fan.
Mm-hmm. And you credit the coaching staff because that's what they say that they want. And they're only going to bring in guys that are going to have that attitude. So I like it from that regard that you had no nervousness from those guys. They just go full in, and that oftentimes leads to very positive careers.
Speaking of no nervousness, let's talk about Jasper for a second, because a couple things jumped to me, and I'll get into some of his numbers, which were tremendous. But, you know, that crowd, give a lot of credit to the crowd last night. They showed up on a weird 6 o'clock start time, which is a little bit difficult, I realized, to get from work wherever you're coming to get there. That building filled up really well, Tony. The students were outstanding. That lower level student section packed and loud early. That we'll get into the Sweet Caroline bit, but that was as loud as I've heard it in the world. Oh, they brought it. They brought it, and they didn't wait till after the game to bring it. Let's talk about Jasper, though. One thing I noticed, Tony, he was walking towards us, back towards the huddle during a timeout. Place is going bananas. West Virginia was on a run, and you talk about how would West Virginia's guys respond to that environment. He's walking off the floor, and I mean walking, like he was in no hurry. He was walking, and he had a smirk on his face, and he was just giving that nod. There was not a single moment where he was uncomfortable last night. You talk about controlling pace and controlling that game and doing exactly what he was supposed to. That was Jasper Floyd last night.
And that's a great story because, from an individual note, here's a guy that had 0 with a Z offers out of high school to play college basketball and basically had to work his way into a junior college. He went to 2 different junior colleges. Then he goes to Fairfield, which is in Connecticut, played there, and then has success, goes to North Texas, and then makes the jump from North Texas to West Virginia with Ross's move. So you have a guy that literally started at, ground zero with no offers. And last night, he's a tremendous player on the floor. He gets you 13 points, 5 boards, 7 assists in 29 minutes. That's a great story.
3 steals.
3 steals.
How about this for him? He is now, Jasper, top 3% of players in college basketball in assist rate. Had 7 of them last night, as you mentioned. He's now 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio on the year. Just exactly what you want to see out of your point guard. He's been outstanding. So a great first backyard brawl for him last night. The other impressive thing, just on a macro level, and we can keep going on some of these guys, and we will, but how about Belo, Brennan Lorient, coming off a week in the first 3 games in which he averaged a double-double and really carried West Virginia, was its best player, gets limited last night due to some early foul trouble, only played 24 minutes, finishes with 6 points, and you still take out Pitt in the manner in which you did with your leading scorer, only playing 24 minutes.
And here's another encouraging sign, so to speak, and that is, guess what? West Virginia still has not shot it well from 3-point range. That's coming, right? That is coming. Last night, they go 7 of 24. That's 29%. And they were 3 of 9 from 3 in the second half. I'm just letting you know that there's going to be a time, and there will be times this season where West Virginia is going to have a night where they're going to drain threes, and that score is going to go really, really quick. Still hasn't happened yet, and that's the good news. The good news is you're 4-0, and you still haven't gotten hot yet, and hopefully that'll come, and hopefully that'll come next weekend, because West Virginia is going to obviously get good competition. They've got Clemson and then potentially both Xavier and Georgia. So you're going to get a little bit of a good idea here coming up.
Let's get into some of these other numbers from the game. You mentioned the turnovers already. I said going into the game there were 2 main keys. Well, 3 really. One was turnovers. You had to limit the number of times you turned it over offensively. West Virginia did that tremendously well. Just 6 turnovers. So that was part of the reason you get the win. The other thing we were looking at, if you kept Pitt off the offensive glass, you felt like you had a good chance to win. Pitt had 1 offensive rebound in the first half, Tony. 1 for a team that wants to crash and wants to get physical and go get the ball. They finished the game with 0 second chance points. 0. So we talked earlier, I know some people were concerned after the small sample size of just 1 game, heard a lot about the rebounding, and rebounding had to get better. This team would. We knew that it would. Once it figured out what it was doing, where you needed to be, that was a game last night where you won that game on the glass. You just simply would not give them anything. 0 second chance points, Tony. That's unbelievable. That number right there, I could stop right there. That's the one that jumped out to me the most. The third key was free throw line, and we talked a lot about this both ways. West Virginia had been top. They were 21st coming into the game in free throw attempt rate, meaning how often they get to the free throw line versus their shot attempts from the field. Pitt was very good as well. They were in the top 35. Which of those would win out? What would the style of officiating be like? That was answered pretty early. This crew, for the most part, outside of a couple isolated examples, let this game go. They let them play. This was as physical as a Big 12 game was going to be, and West Virginia rose to the challenge more so than Pitt did in this. West Virginia ends up plus 12 points at the free throw line. And I know some of that was driven by Pitt coming undone with all the technical fouls they were getting, but West Virginia hung around free throw line-wise and then ultimately made a difference there, going 16 of 21, 76% from the line. That was led by Honor Huff, 9 of 12 from the free throw line. But the other part might have been more impressive. Ross preaches this all the time. Defend without fouling, and West Virginia did. It took that top 35 national free throw attempt rate team in the Pitt Panthers, held them to an 11% free throw attempt rate. That might be the lowest that team gets all season. So just a great example. Defend, be physical, be tough, but don't foul, don't reach, and that paid off in a big way for West Virginia.
Pitt attempted just 6 free throws. They went 4 of 6. West Virginia attempted 21. They were 16 of 21. And while that looks like, what in the world? If that happened on the other side, you'd look at that and be screaming. But keep in mind, there were 3 technicals, which means that's 6 shots. So that 21 attempts would actually be about 15. Nevertheless, The point is that West Virginia stresses to guard but not foul. So when we say that, what's that exactly mean? Well, the indicator for an official when it comes to a foul, more so than anything else, is when a defensive player breaks the plane of verticality and reaches over. Like that's the signal for them when they're starting to see this. Well, if you don't do that, right, and you maintain your verticality, but you use your body, i.e. your legs and your waist, and that's how you're guarding, that can be really, really good. And so West Virginia, at least last night, did a really good job of staying out of that foul trouble. And you had a Final Four crew. You had Kip Kissinger, you had Roger Ayers, and you had Marquise Pettigrew, and those are all the highest level of officials. And I thought they called it well, to be quite honest with you, because if you go ticky-tack in that game and you start blowing that whistle on just incidental contact, then it just becomes an absolute mess. The total number of fouls called in the game was 26 fouls, including the technical fouls. So I thought it was good. So it's a league game. It was like a league game.
Let's talk turnovers again for another second. West Virginia came in. This stat jumped out to me as I was doing my pregame prep. West Virginia was 85th percentile in the frequency of getting live ball turnovers. So you figure that, right? Ross Hodge's defensive team going to create live ball turnovers, 85th percentile coming in. But just 30th percentile when it came to points per possession off those turnovers. So you were getting them, but weren't converting at a rate that was equal to the frequency in which you were getting them. When that, you just kept watching that number, because when that flips, it was going to be a game when West Virginia was going to be hard to beat. That came last night. On Thursday, West Virginia averaged nearly 2 points per possession off of live ball turnovers. So they got them, and then they converted at the other end. That includes 3 of 4 from 3 coming off a live ball turnover. So you talk about something that's devastating, and that's what coaches say all the time. The one thing they worry about is not just turnovers in and of itself, it's the live ball variety when the other team gets a run out. West Virginia absolutely made Pitt pay in that category last night. Couple other notes, just stats I thought you'd find interesting. Heading into the game, I didn't think Pitt would do a great job and want to guard West Virginia for as long as it would have to in each shot clock. You could just tell Pitt was a team that wanted to get out and go. They wanted the ball back in their hands, and they wanted to go the other way. That's a tough mindset when you're playing West Virginia, because you're going to grind that thing down. And when it gets to the final 5 seconds of the clock, people start to get antsy. You know who does not? Nobody on West Virginia's team, including Jasper Floyd, who's like, okay, now there's 5. Now we'll go to work here. West Virginia was really good in that area, and it led to some open shots. That's the reason you do that, is defense will start to break down after all of that time guarding, especially cumulatively over the game. West Virginia had 17 catch-and-shoot jumpers last night. 9 of those were unguarded. That's a season high so far. So that defense started to break, and the rotations didn't stay sound. Season high in unguarded jump shots, catch and shoots, scored 12 points off of those, also a season high. So that was a key factor. Wore them down. They didn't want to guard you for that entire time. Led you to some open shots. Inside, we talked about that. West Virginia's advantage over its first 3 opponents, it was clear. Last night, the size and athleticism of Pitt was something that was a concern. How would they match against West Virginia's bigs? Same result. West Virginia was outstanding. Second most points all season off of layups. You had 26 and 24 points in the first 2 games at the rim. You had 24 versus Pitt. So right in line with what you'd done all season. You dominated inside. A couple other last notes, and then we'll move on. Out of timeouts, West Virginia's been pretty good. You know, if you watch, Ross can dial it up when he gets into a timeout coming out. You've generally got some pretty good shots. West Virginia, 14 points out of timeouts yesterday against Pitt. Not a season high, but right in line with your season highs this year. Been very good coming out of that. The best spot on the floor for West Virginia last night, 5 of 11 from the top of the key 3. That's 46% from that location. It also, this is good when this matches, 20% of West Virginia's shots, the most of any spot on the floor, came from the top of the 3 key. So if your most frequent spot matches with your best spot in terms of field goal percentage, that's probably going to end well. It did last night.
Also, the start to the second half was absolutely key, right? West Virginia has had some issues there. Both go to the exhibition game. Last night, West Virginia is up 9 points at the break. They come out, run a great play, and get an open layup for Obioha, and then the flurry took over. Pitt uses a couple of timeouts very early to try to stop the bleeding, but it's too late. You take a look at the total control in this game. West Virginia had the lead for 31 minutes and 10 seconds. Pitt had it for 8:15. The game was tied for just 13 seconds, and there were 4 lead changes. Think about this. West Virginia ends up winning by 22. Could have been worse. Mountaineers did not score in the last 4 minutes and 43 seconds, so almost a quarter of the second half they didn't score. They ended the game missing their last 4 shots and 6 of their last 7 and still win 71-49.
Couple other things to point. I thought from a confidence standpoint, there was a moment in the game, about 11 minutes to go, Pitt closed to 10. They made their run. You knew you were going to get a run out of Pitt. They made it after West Virginia jumped on top, as you just outlined. Pitt closed that thing to 10 with about 11 minutes to go. And we commented on air, okay, here's the ball game. What happens? Do they continue to push you and now you're in a street fight, or does West Virginia bow up and respond? Well, the latter happened in that game. By the time you got to the 6:34 mark on the clock, West Virginia had ballooned that lead back to 17, and I think that was the moment when Pitt said, all right, we're done. West Virginia answered that call, stood right back up and pushed through and got that win. One last note, because I'm going to talk about this all year because I think it's important to mention. West Virginia, because of the pace at which it plays, its scoring average will be near the bottom of the Big 12 and nationally. So don't freak out when you see West Virginia's 14th in this league in points per game. That doesn't matter for this because the defensive points per game is going to balance it. So what Ross looks at and what you want to look at here is how efficient are they being offensively. So points per game don't necessarily matter, but are you being efficient while playing that style? Because if you are, that's what leads to wins. West Virginia last night, 1.1 points per possession in that game. Again, I say this all the time. Last year's national leader was 1.1 at the end of the season. So that was a top-of-the-nation type of offensive efficiency performance from West Virginia. Conversely, you held Pitt on the game, and this steadily dropped. I was watching it each media timeout. Steadily dropped throughout the game. Started at 1.4 points per possession, which is blistering hot, and plummeted all the way to 0.80 by the end of the game. Again, that would be near the bottom of the national rankings. So one of those stats that backs up what your eyes saw, but efficiency-wise, both offensively and defensively, just A+ from West Virginia.
All right, summary from the game. We oftentimes use this when things don't go well for West Virginia. It's never as good as it looks. It's never as bad as it looks. It's somewhere in the middle, and I think you could say the same thing about this performance. West Virginia is not going to play with that level of efficiency the rest of the way through, but you saw that they have the ability to put it together, and now you still have a ton of work to accomplish. But the nice thing is you've got positive momentum. You've got a good vibe. Guys are buying in. Everyone's buying in. And now you're going to get 2 more players coming back with the team. You'll have your full roster. So just moving onward. And
again, I keep saying, I've said it all fall and all summer. You've got some good shooters on this team, and you just haven't seen those games where they get blistering hot yet. Trayson Eaglestaff's going to score, guys. I mean, that's coming. As soon as he gets comfortable in what this offense is asking him to do, Trayson's going to shoot. Honor's averaging almost 3 threes per game. In every other situation, we would be going, are you saying Honor Huff? It's 3 threes per game. Instead, you're like, well, Honor hasn't even got hot yet. I mean, my man can turn it in a hurry, as you've seen. That's coming. And then you're right. You're going to add some more guys back in there. So this is still a work in progress. There's a lot still to go, but there's a lot of runway for this team to get better as well as it's been playing already.
Coming up, Textual Healing, 3 guys before the game with 2 here today. 1 guy just wandering around somewhere aimlessly, but 3 guys is brought to us by, yes, Tudor's Biscuit World. You know it's party season. You know, we're middle of the way through November. It's holiday season. They, being Tudors, can cater whatever event you have, whether it be a late season football game. You know what I'm saying? It's high school football, the tailgated high school football playoff game.
Playoffs are starting tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You get yourself a catered event from Tudor's Biscuit World, whether it's a tailgate, whether it's a party, whether it's a holiday event. All you got to do is call the folks at Tudor's Biscuit World. They cater. They'll package it all up for you. You just walk in, walk out, and you got yourself a Tudor's Biscuit World combo, whatever you need. Visit them at Tudor's Biscuit World. All right. We're going to do some healing. This is different healing. This is kind of like preventative maintenance, right? We don't need to heal after last night's performance, but it's more of just like therapeutic continuation. It's kind of like deep breathing, right? It's going to help you when you need it the most. You might be wondering, by the way, all this stuff that we have. We'll talk about that. Textual Healing is brought to us by episode800.com, 304-404-4083. 304-404-4083. That's our website, episode800.com, and we have our Christmas items now on there. The popcorn from Mountaineer Popcorn, the Mountaineer Munch, back for the holiday season. It is, just in a word, it's terrific. You didn't even get your notes.
I did not. You got a lot of stuff over there.
Hang on, we're having an organizational issue here. Stunning. Wait 1 second here. I told you last night that I was just going to read these on the fly.
That's why I didn't think there was notes. I thought you were just going to go with it.
But I got up early enough and I said, heck with it, I'm going to do it because I care. That's why, because I care. All right, take those. Good deal. So, continuation of the things that we got coming. Next Saturday, we're in Charleston, South Carolina on the off day for the Charleston basketball event. West Virginia plays Clemson Friday, and then we'll play again on Sunday. We've got the off day on Saturday, and we are partnering with Gold and Blue Enterprises and the Low Country Alumni Group, and we're having ourselves a big event at Lawrence's Seafood Company. It's down there on Ocean Boulevard in the Isle of Palms. We're titling it Oysters on the Beach. We will have special high-ranking guests from WVU with us. Is that fair?
Fair.
Okay.
I think.
Here's the dealio, though. It's going to be sold out, but there were like 250 tickets. Now there's about 30 left. So we encourage you to, hey, Jake, if you would put that graphic up again. So if you go to the Low Country Alumni Chapter's website, you can buy them there, and it's only $10. So it's $10 to get there, and then they're going to have these food specials, the all-you-can-eat oysters, which I'm kind of looking forward to right now, like more than a week away, and I'm already going like, yeah. So over at Lawrence's Seafood Company, we'd love to have you. We're going to go noon until 3. We've got music. We've got games. Hoppy will be there. We'll have all 3 guys plus some WVU folks that we will do Q&As with. We'll interview, might have a game or two, like catch the oyster. I don't know, we'll do something like that. Great to be there at Fish World.
Be a blast.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing you. So what? Just a few tickets left, but some still available.
Some still available. It's only $10, and it goes to supports the Low Country Alumni Chapter. By the way, I was the first guy that broke that we were going to do this event on this program. I'm going to go ahead here. The other Charleston.
Yeah.
I've been talking about this too.
Yes.
We're going to be in Charleston, West Virginia on the first weekend of December. West Virginia is playing Wake Forest inside the Charleston Coliseum Civic Center, whatever they call it now. And what do they call it?
I think it's Charleston Coliseum.
Yeah, whatever.
Because I always get in trouble when I call it Civic Center.
Yeah, the building across from the old mall. Anyway, so West Virginia, Wake Forest. We're going to be there the night before.
December 5, I believe, right?
Is the game day?
No.
Oh, okay. So December 5.
6 is the game day.
Okay, so December 5, Friday. 3 guys we're going to do an event, okay? We're going to do an event.
Can you stop there? Because that's really all the details that are in place.
We're going to do an event. I want to invite you to join us. All 3 of us will be there. Now, here's a little something for you. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. That week is National Signing Date in football. 2 days earlier on Wednesday. Football class will be signed.
That is true.
It's going to be a big day. So I'm kind of thinking outside the box a little bit, right? People want to know who the recruits are football-wise. It's a Friday night before the basketball game.
Right.
I'm just saying, it'd be kind of nice if the head football coach was down there in the capital city, maybe talks about that recruiting class with us on the little Three Guys Live show.
Be awesome. We'd love to have Rich. That's not.
Well, I'm going to reach out.
That's a nice thought. I mean, you go ahead and ask him.
I think I'm going to reach out.
If he's available.
I'm going to reach out to the coach over there at the college.
Okay.
And see if he'll come down and maybe talk a little bit about the recruiting class, because I think people kind of like to know who the future Mountaineers are.
Be wonderful.
So
that could be a little basketball-football combo.
Sure. We'll talk about the Wake Forest game,
But we don't know if Rich is going to be there yet. That's simply something you'd like to have happen. We'd like to see Rich join us.
I feel good about it.
You don't know that.
I feel good about it. Just remember, I'm the guy that first reported we were going to do a live event at Fish World.
Lawrence's. It's not called Fish World.
Boy.
Lawrence's in Charleston, South Carolina.
So Oliver Straw's people, by the way, came through. Remember on the last episode, we showed you his pseudo uncles that were at the game, both in
English military garb.
They're in the English military. They had the English military garb. They left us. These are called bowler hats.
Bowler hats. They wore those too.
I tell you what, I do like it. You think it looks pretty good? It looks pretty good, right?
Pull it down a little bit in the front. You want to be a little bit in the front. You don't want it to tick back there.
Yeah. So
you can wear that. Why don't you wear that out to Arizona State?
Yeah, I'll put that on. If I could just get that on with my headphones. So these dudes were really they were fun. I think they're spies too, because they had that military stuff on. I think they were counter spies with Oliver's dad, who's a spy, and they left. The one gentleman has a front. Right, you know, these guys always have fronts where they don't really. They have a business in front of things like this. So anyway, he owns a pub in Grantham. It's called Nobody Inn. It's the Executive Drinkers Club, and he gave me a card for the Executive Drinkers Club, draft only. It's good through April of 26, so I got to get out there. But I'm in. Like, I'm going to their pub sometime. And they brought us a bunch of other stuff. We got Turkish coffee. Finally got that. We have kangaroo jerky. I'll give that to Brad. And they stole some chocolate off the airplane. Thank you for flying Swiss. I mean, they missed no.
He did bring. I took them out of the bag. I didn't even give you a chance to get them. Gave them to my girls. It had some koala chocolate caramel treats from Australia.
Yeah.
Reported back that they were excellent.
Yeah, not a surprise.
Thank you to the Straws.
Texter. I made the trip from Fayette County to Morgantown this evening, so that's last night, to watch the 192nd Brawl. Along the way, we made a stop at the Go Mart in Flatwoods, the one on the right. We played Marty's.
Kind of the non-traditional went to the right.
Yeah, to play Marty's Merry Spin and grab some snacks for the road. I'm beyond proud of Coach Hodge and the boys for the performance they put together in the Coliseum tonight. It was truly a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be. Listening to Coach Hodge during the week, clear he understood how much beating Pitt means to the Mountaineer faithful. In fact, dating back to his first day in Morgantown when he took in the baseball Backyard Brawl, Coach Hodge has been inundated with the Mountaineers' hatred for Pitt. Incredible scene to see him sing Country Roads with the student section. Now let's see the women's team knock off Duke, the women's soccer team advance in the NCAAs, and the football team get a win over ASU to cap off the week. Following a few difficult years, it's nice to see WVU sports trending in the right direction. I can't wait to see what the future holds in store. Signed Wests from Tailgate Central. So he went in there. That Marty spin's getting popular.
Yeah, well, it should.
Jake, if you could put that up. So go into a Go Mart right now. They've got the Play Marty Spin. They're going to do this through the month to almost to the end of December. You go in there, you get your app, you hit that QR code, and then you spin. Awesome prizes, like really good stuff. All you have to do is go there. People like spinning. Look at Marty on that graphic there. He's upside down in just absolute elation. So Marty's Spin, don't forget, we're recording early Friday morning. Saturdays at Go-Mart's, triple rewards points, kind of nice.
By the way, I'm right on. I have nailed it now.
You're empty?
I've got just enough of gas to get me through today. I'll roll in Saturday morning, keep the streak alive at triple points.
Did you see Phil from Go-Mart?
Yeah, we talked to him.
Yeah. You saw him there last night.
Sure.
They got a brand new store opening up in Beckley.
When's that open? Do we know?
Pretty soon.
Soon?
They're really close.
Like brand new. Ground up.
Brand new.
New
Yeah.
build.
Raleigh County. Yeah.
Where? Beckley?
Beckley.
Yeah. Got to make a visit down there.
Yeah. You think Marty will probably be there?
There's just one store, though. It's not two like at the world headquarters in Flatwoods.
Just
the one.
Solo shot.
Yeah.
Texter
I think
says,
they'll have those big kegs of water in there.
oh, yeah.
You know, those big giant.
Oh, yeah. Nowadays, they got them all.
Connection 304 probably in the cooler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure they will.
Big giant Rishi cups.
Yep. Big as a manhole cover. My son Wyatt and I made the trip up Friday for the football game, which turned into a full weekend of basketball on Sunday. The excitement on his face in this picture shows that we've got a young Mountaineer diehard, grinning from ear to ear, if you can tell. Look at this. Brad, appreciate you for getting Jaden's attention to sign Wyatt's ball. He was too shy to ask for himself. Also, thanks, guys, for taking time to talk to him, sign his ball. Tony keeps asking me, as a little boy, every time I see his little kid, I say, hey, the kid comes up to me all the time, and he says, do you remember me? And I say to him, yeah, were we in jail together? And he keeps asking me when Tony went to jail. Saturday's hard edge on full display. Sunday, relentless effort, both sides. Excited for here we go. Joey in Princeton. Texter.
Always good to see Joey and Wyatt.
Yeah. Every WVU fan after the last two games thinking about a bowl. Yeah. So you're telling me there is a chance. Yeah. West Virginia would have to beat both Arizona State and the Red Raiders of Texas Tech, but that would give you 6. That'd give you 6. Texter. I have 6 friends that are Colorado Buffalo fans, 2 now in North Carolina, 2 in Cincinnati, 2 still in Boulder. The group arranged the game tickets and hotel rooms, invited me, so I introduced them to the Wonder Bar in Clarksburg. You've been down there.
Very good.
They enter the Wonder Bar fully dressed in their Colorado gear. A patron at the bar spots them, buys them all a drink. I later found out it was none other than David Alvarez purchasing the drinks. Now, that's David, the one that lives here in Harrison County, not the referee from the Big 12, sure. David Alvarez.
Saw David last night before the game.
The referee?
No.
Oh.
No,
the real one.
Yes, this David. Yeah,
now that the Wonder Bar... Now that the Wonder Bar is their most favorite restaurant in all of the world because they got free drinks and started tipping the waitress in $2 bills every time she came by the table during the meal. Being the curious guy I am, I say, what's up with the $2 bills? They tell me so people will remember then. Then they give a $2 bill. Later, they found out giving me a $2 bill was a mistake. Why? Because West Virginia blocked the Buffs' punt and registered 2 points on the scoreboard. I remember the $2 bill in my pocket. I pulled out the $2 bill and waved it in their faces to the dismay of my Buffalo fans, and all the WVU fans had a big laugh. W.E. Heasley, class of 79. There's that $2 bill right there. That's a pretty good idea.
You don't see a lot of those.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Texter. It may have been your reference in your pig auction episode to Arnold the Pig that caused me to realize when your opening song is played at 1.25 speed, parts of it sound suspiciously similar to the opening of the theme song from Green Acres. Didn't know that. You remember Green Acres, don't you? You don't remember?
I mean, I know what it is, but I didn't.
One of the Gabor sisters, Eddie Albert, Arnold the Pig. Arnold used to sit in front of that doggone. He'd sit on a chair and just watch TV all day. That doggone pig, he had it made. You ever heard that theme song? Green Acres, Place to Be, Green Acres, Life for Me, Green Acre? No,
never. I'll take your word for it.
This texter also says, I miss Hoppy's obvious observations. Now, we miss Hoppy too, like a canker sore. Devin and Goshen, hey, 2 guys, I got an observation. The world champion West Virginia Mountaineer footballers are 2-0 since Hoppy's been gone. Causation, correlation. If they lose Saturday with the Hopper in attendance, then we'll have our answer. A solid point. Texter, after Rich and our Mountaineers return from the desert with the upset win, I've got a wish and a question for the Texas Tech game, 29 November. Wish, a nor'easter snowstorm in Touchdown City. And question, odds on Rich channeling his inner Dana Holgerson by inserting JV Tavon Austin, also known as Cam Vaughn, as tailback midway through the first quarter. Thank you, Kevin and Charleston. Probably not. Hey, Tony Brad, it's Carson Fox currently texting you from Sedona, Arizona, with my younger brother being an Arizona State grad. Whenever they joined the Big 12, my family said we're going to go to the game whenever it's played in Tempe. So this trip has literally been years in the making. Here's my wife, my 1-year-old daughter, and me in front of the famous Chapel of the Holy Cross. I know we fans call West Virginia almost heaven, but let me tell you, God was having fun the day he made Sedona. Anyway, hoping to find Hoppy pregame to say hello. We'll try to bring home a W. Carson's one of the great ones.
Yeah, he is. That's a great shot.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty nice. Tom in Wetzel County, a European country roads follow-up. I think country roads is more popular in Europe than in the United States. I was in Malta several years ago, and every band and every nightclub and bar used country roads as their last song or encore. 100%. Most people I met loved the song but knew nothing about our state. Curious how it all started. Thank you for the podcast. Brings joy to your fans here on the Ohio River. Again, someone needs to do a documentary. I don't have the time, but someone needs to do a documentary on why country roads became a global hit. I mean, you take country roads and Happy Birthday, and I think they're running 1-2.
Probably fair.
Texter, this is for Tony. Here comes a heater. Not only was the Backyard Brawl a great game, but Tony's pronunciation of each player's name was fascinating. How do you do that during a game? It's amazing. Tony, if you could, I have a doctor's appointment next week, and when the doctor asks what prescriptions I'm taking, I would love for you to be there and give him my list. I'd love to hear you say, and first up from Mylan Pharmaceuticals, it's 20 milligrams of Lisenpril. Pitt had some names. Papa Amadou Conte, right? Names. The game going international has certainly changed rosters, right? I mean, you back in the old days, the great West Virginia teams, you had like Bobby Joe Smith, Jerry West, right? Willie Akers, like those are pretty easy names. I mean, now you got last night from Pitt, you had a Sia Lepra, you had a Papa Amadou Conte, you had a Noyes Indricitis, which sounds like an infection.
Yeah, Papa Amadou Conte, that was fun to say. I like that one.
Yeah, Amadou Conte rolls nicely. Yes, it does. Rolls nicely. Stephen and Eleanor, I don't want to pile on Brad's research tools when they're down, but he said before last Saturday West Virginia had not blocked a punt since 2014 off the Dome. I remembered C.J. Donaldson blocking one at Pitt in 22, us blocking one against NC State in 19, and blocking another and scoring against Oak State 17 in a monsoon at Milan Pushkar. Am I right?
I think he is right.
So I looked.
I think he is right. So what was the last time it happened in 2014?
I'm sure it's going to be.
I won't say where I've got that, but
it was in the notes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They released it in the notes. The post-game notes said it was the first block, but wasn't
the first time you'd scored off a block punt? Did I misspeak? But he's saying there was one against NC State or Oklahoma State in 2017.
I looked it up. There wasn't.
So it was the first time you'd scored off a block punt is what it was. I just omitted that part?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was, Steve. I think it was scored off one. Now, CJ's was on the road.
Yeah.
And I looked up
Pitt, he's right about that.
I looked up blocks on 17 Oklahoma State, and it did not show that there was any blocks.
Maybe that's what it was. Blocked where you scored points off of? Okay.
Yeah. Texter, Tony, in the history of WVU, no article of clothing has caused more discussion than Bob Huggins' infamous gold suit. So we have to know, did fine-looking Phil hook you up with just a gold sport coat, or did he go full gold suit for you? Sure hoping that's a full suit. Love the pod, Doug and Winfield. No, it's just a blazer.
It's a nice one.
It is a nice one.
I know you get a little antsy about wearing that. I think that's a great look on Gold Rush.
Yeah, no, I only use it for Gold Rush.
Yeah, it's perfect for that.
No, I don't have the.
But you didn't go the pants with it.
I couldn't. I don't think I could pull that off. I don't think I could pull off the pants.
Sport
but the
coat's
blazer.
Perfect.
Why would you think that's a nice? What would you think you'd get from Daniels? That's the only thing he has is like really nice stuff. Why would you? I was a little surprised by that.
High end.
I mean, he's got this. He's got whatever you need. Like literally whatever you need. That Taylor stuff's nice there too. You got that Taylor in the back. I mean, I always like when you go in there and
Ebo.
Excuse me?
Ebo.
That's his name?
Yeah, he's in the back.
So he's in the back, and like Phil takes out. I like when Phil, because Phil, like you can tell when he's fired up. He's got those pins
Right there.
in his on his wrist,
Sleeve, yeah.
on his sleeve. Got all those pins sticking in there all the time. Just walks around with them. He's got the measures. He's got the tape around his neck, and then I love me some chalk.
You like the Taylor chalk?
The Taylor chalk, and he just goes like,
Done. Got it.
and those things. Slip those off, and we'll get those done right now. That's old school nice.
Speaking of Phil, a couple things. Went in for my shift Tuesday. Got a nice new Peter Millar, West Virginia hoodie in there.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, he's great. Just brings stuff out every couple weeks. We're getting near holiday shopping season. This would be a
aware.
good time to go. A lot of stuff. So while I was in there a few weeks ago on my Tuesday work shift, guy came in from Beckley. Specifically drove up from Beckley. Had to get a new suit.
Where the new Go-Mart's going to be.
Sure. Wasn't there yet, so he didn't stop at that, but stopped at a couple others on the way up. Came in, asked if I was working since it was Tuesday. I was in the back doing some work at the table. So Phil said, yeah, he's right here. So I came popping around the corner. I think he was a little bit surprised that I was actually there, but Tuesday. Darren Butcher from Beckley. But he wasn't just there to say hi, Tony. He brought a gift right here. Here's your gift.
Honey.
He's a beekeeper, makes honey, makes his own. He does this.
Did he have the whole hood on and everything?
He did not. Well, he's got it. He did not wear it into Daniel's, though. Phil was measuring him for a suit, and he gave us each some honey. Hoppy's might be bad by the time he gets back and gets it, but yours is still good. I've been using it every day, mixing it in with my coffee. A little cinnamon, a little honey in my coffee.
That's
very good.
That's a real. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Darren. Thank you, Darren.
Texter, Logan from Lewisburg. Definitely a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be. It puts a huge smile on my face when we beat Pitt and Morgantown for both football and basketball. And, listen to this. I didn't figure that out. It was done on the 13th day of the month. Each game, September 13th, November 13th. Coincidence, he says? I think not. Thanks for all you do. Let's go. Texter. Shout out to the Mountaineer mascot. My son-in-law and grandson, Beckham, came up from Florida for the game last Saturday, and we saw the mascot in the parking lot, took a pic during the man walk. He walked over, high-fives Beckham, and he said he remembers me, Papa. Made a fan for life. Jeff from Sandyville. Look at that. There he is, Brian. Isn't that kind of nice? Cade's one of the all-time great Mountaineers.
He's a great dude.
One of the all-time great Mountaineers. Texter, so DJ Thomas might be pretty good. Do you think he might hit the 4-point-per-game freshman metric? You remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you average 4 or more as a freshman, you're going to be good. So, yeah, I think he's going to be nosing around there. Absolutely. Chuck in Lumberport, what a game. Defense, awesome. What can you say about our offense? I saw something tonight that I don't believe I'd ever seen on our side. It was toward the end of the first half. Can't remember what our offense just did. The fans very loud. Our assistant coaches jumped up from their chairs in the air and were high-fiving each other. That has to make the players even feel better. Very animated staff.
Very.
Yeah. Well, all kidding aside, this community within this basketball program, and I'm talking about everyone from the head coach down to anyone that's involved in the program, whether they're students, whether they're staff, whether they're coaches, like when he says this thing's going to be a family and we're going to be together, like it's for real.
Mm-hmm.
And Hoppy talked about the one time where he's watching, Ross brought the team over there and he saw one of our guys take a towel from one of the managers and he thanked him for it. And he pointed and he said, do you see that right there? He said, that dude's taking your sweaty towel. And he said, we're going to be together. We're going to thank, and we're going to be, and that's what he is doing. He is forging that.
High-fiving, fist bumping on this group is
Heavy.
Part of the DNA.
Top 1 percentile.
Yeah, you don't walk by somebody and not high five or fist bump. That's part of the deal.
What spreads on stats is that top 1 percentile in the country. Fist bumps.
Top 1 percentile.
Yeah,
big part of it.
T-Dub in Barbersville. Fellas, I just watched the world champs embarrass their opponent in the brawl. Ross Hodge defense causing 104 turnovers in the last 6 minutes, and those 3 technicals were Pitt's only answer in slowing the offense. wondering how many people watching at home saw the last 2 seconds of the TV coverage when Coach Hodge turned to the crowd, pumped the fist, and yelled, "Let's go." That kind of emotion will not only bring in talent, but will also retain it. It also brought to mind my favorite quote from Hoppy all the way back to October 17, episode 12. Speaking of the positivity of Baylor's coach Matt Rule and him digging in a pile of manure because he thinks there's a pony underneath. Looked to me like Jeff Capel and his staff didn't even own a shovel, and Narduzzi has taken all the spoons. Keep up the great work. Curtis Jones for Heisman. Let's go, Mountaineers.
Thank you. Picked up on that. We started that last week. There's a great picture out there on, I believe it's on WVU Hoops Twitter or Instagram account of Ross. Dale, I think Dale got it, Sparks, of Ross turning towards the bench/scores table and doing that fist bump and yelling. It's a neat picture.
I think he wants the fans to be fully engaged. I think he would like, not that they're not, but I'm saying like, let's just say this. The ones that are behind us, little bit more seasoned, right? Probably not used to standing up a whole lot. I don't think he would be mad if those folks behind us would stand and really get it going. I think he would love everyone up going bananas when West Virginia's guarding.
Agree.
Right?
Agree. And it was pretty close last night.
We're working on that.
It got loud in there.
So can you like hire like a stand-up person like to work the aisles, like hold up, like let's go?
Well, coaches were helping with that last night.
Yeah,
Coach Estelle got in there.
Johnny got in there too?
He was doing a great job coaching him up. Ross did that a couple times himself. Yeah. It'll get there. Okay. Early season for everyone. Yeah. Get settled into the routine.
Yeah.
Everybody will know their role here soon.
All right. Well, listen, this is Friday early. We're going to be back here Sunday morning. We'll recap Arizona State. That will lead us to a bye week for the Mountaineers. We'll talk a little bit about Lafayette. West Virginia has them on Monday, and then West Virginia will leave Wednesday for Charleston, South Carolina, play Friday, Sunday. We've got our alumni event with Golden Blue Enterprises in Charleston, South Carolina at Fish World.
Lawrence's is the name of the establishment.
Lawrence's Seafood?
Lawrence's.
Limited number of tickets remain. Go to the Low Country WVU alumni page, and it's only $10 to get in there. But then they had that thing where all you can eat oysters for $35.
That's a good deal.
Which I think I may take.
Get that.
May take advantage of those. They cook those different ways. They can probably bread those. They could probably steam, fry, whatever way you want.
Any way you want it.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get those.
We'll probably get a few of those, and then the first Friday of December when West Virginia is getting ready to play Wake Forest. We're cooking up another live event down in Charleston, West Virginia, Charlie West, and may have just talk a little football recruiting, may have the head ball coach with us down there as well. Just kind of speculating.
Details to follow on that.
Yeah, we'll do details. Episode 800 website's up. It's not too early to get your Christmas shopping done. We got the Mountaineer Popcorn, Mountaineer Munch, Mountaineer Roasting Coffee. That's it. Special thank you to our producer, Jake, for coming in so early to get this bad boy done. Have yourself a great weekend. 3 Guys Before the Game in the book. Brought to us by GoMart. Get that GoMart app. Download it. Save on food and fuel. Saturday's triple rewards points. Kind of nice. Spin that thing. Marty spin, too. Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. By Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's Biscuit. By Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law, they simply won't take no for an answer. By Conley's CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. All right, we're out. Have yourself a great weekend. 3 Guys Before the Game is completed.